Hi everyone, I'm Jack and I'm back. And let me update you. So today I took the entire front end off of the car to see what was causing clearance issues. When I did, I was able to discover that this corner piece right here is a separate piece. So I was able to take it out, leave the rest of this in place because this thing is not very sturdy without all the support. So when I put the front end back on, the other thing is that sure enough, when I took this off, remember how this piece didn't quite come over to where it was supposed to? Well, as soon as I took it off, it fit right there. And I could tell because this piece right here curved around, and I knew I wouldn't have done that for nothing. So that's what we've got there. It did help with the interference issue, but not quite enough. So if you look, I've got it back as far as it'll go. So if you remember, without that screw down there holding it, it allowed this fender to bend out, which allowed this to go back without causing that interference at that corner. Now that I've got that screwed in, it's hitting right there. But it's a huge improvement. If you look, we're like, what, half an inch off from going, but anyway, no big deal. I'll just take off the front end again, cut off a little more than that, and make clearance so that this will slide back. Because if you see, this is about, what, 3 fingers from fitting, moving back. Same thing here, 3 fingers. So if you get back and look, if that moved back, that wheel well opening would line up like it's supposed to. So that should take care of that. There may be some other stuff up in here that is still keeping it from moving back. And this whole thing's trial and error. Like you see, I put it on, I see what's going on. So you can see that this is where, it's hard to do. There we go. All right, so this piece right here is the C2 piece. This is the actual C8 piece. It was originally orange, and it's almost all the way back, but it looks, if you look in between, there we go. It looks like if I cut a little more, let me see if you can see my hand, there we go. If I cut a little more out of that peak right there, it might help. Everything else, well, everything else has a little room, but not a lot. So again, I'll just keep on taking it off, putting it on, trimming. I'd like to have a minimum of 1 inch clearance everywhere. And right now, there's some places that are right at 1 inch. Let's see. Oh, the other thing is something's going on here where this isn't going to want to go back that 3 fingers. So I'm not sure what to do about this right here. When I take this off the next time, I'm going to compare the 2 sides. This probably can be cut off, but right now it's an exposed spot. But if you look, I'm thinking the fender will cover that up if I cut it off. If you look over here, it wraps around that. I can't really see. Yeah, there's a little space there, not a lot. So I may drag out this fender for the other side and test fit it. In fact, that wouldn't be a bad idea right now to do that. But anyway, so again, cutting, trimming. I'm going to cut off that corner right there where it's hitting off the orange piece. The funny thing is, when I was designing this, I looked at it and I said, well, here's what a C2 fender looks like. There's what a C8 wheel opening looks like. I need to connect the 2. Part of me said, well, what if I just make a flat panel that went across there? And I mocked it up and it worked, but it just wasn't impressive, we'll say. I really like this curve. Again, it's a personal design style, but I really like this 3-dimensional shape here much more than a flat piece. Funny thing is, had I done the flat piece, this thing would slide right on with no issue. But I already had this one done. I have the other side matching it. It took probably a week, and you can see I used templates and all of my usual tricks to get the 2 sides to match. So the 2 sides are as close as I can humanly get them to matching. So I really don't want to undo all that work or cover all that work up with a flat sheet. And then the other issue was, what did I do about this? There's a bit of a step right here, indentation, and with the flat piece, I would have at some point had to get rid of that. So I said, no, instead I'll just continue it into the fender there, wheel well opening, and then have it slowly vanish. Anyway, that was one of my design choices. I like the design choice. I just don't like the fact that it's causing extra work. And again, it didn't cause extra work when I wasn't using the C8 front end. All right, like, subscribe, hit the alert, hit the thanks if you want to donate, and I'll update you in a little bit. You don't like what I'm doing? You don't know Jack. Bye.